What's up, everybody? This is Dr. Zeb, and it's so good to see you tonight at this live virtual experience. It is Tuesday night. That means it's a life study night, and I'm excited to be here with you, and certainly praying that you have had a phenomenal week all week long. It's just Tuesday, but the story is the same for me. It feels like it's Friday. It's been a very busy week, very busy 2 days, and certainly praying that your week has not only been good, busy, but also productive. It's good to see you tonight. And I hate to see tonight come, really hate to see the ending of the series, The Secret Power of Being Misunderstood. This has been a very powerful series that I did not intend to turn into a series, but it has been so thorough every week. And so I want to get right into it tonight. I want to spend a lot of time talking. I want to get right into the teaching because I want to take my time and get through this last night. And I'm going to give you that third unexpected blessing of being misunderstood. And before I do that, I'm going to give you, of course, some context as well that will help you. So let's go through the evening to you. It's good to see you virtually. Thank you so much for jumping in the room. Do me a favor, hit that @ symbol. I want you to tag 5 people quickly. Hit that like button, hold it down until it turns into a heart. And then I want you to hit that share button. Share this video with on your page. I understand they're taking the watch party function away on Facebook, for what I understand, but share this video on your page and hit that @ symbol, tag 5 people, Facebook, if you would, and let's get the room jumping really quickly. Instagram, good evening to you. It's good to see you tonight. Certainly praying that you are doing well. Thank you so much for jumping in, the handful of you that are already in. Let's get this number moving. Hit that @ symbol, Instagram, if you would, and tag 5 people and tell them tonight to tune in. This is a very powerful message, and I cannot wait to share part 4 of, again, The Secret Power of Being Misunderstood. It's going to be powerful. So hit that @ symbol, tag 5 people. Thank you so much, Instagram, for tuning in. Also hit the heart button. Let me know you're there. And also make sure that you love this video, like this video as well. Should have a like for every single viewer that we eventually have come on. Instagram is the slow church. I say that every week. YouTube, good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you do that. You can find us on YouTube at TheREHABCC. That's at TheREHABCC on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. And then if you're on YouTube, I want you to share this video as well. I want you to share it with 5 people. Send the link. Tell them to tune in right now. They ain't even got to be on Facebook, Instagram. They can go right to Google and type in YouTube, and they can tune in tonight. So with you, if you're on YouTube, make sure you say hello in the comments. But then also, I want you to share this video with 5 people. Hit that like button. If you have not already on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. And we want you to make sure that you can get all of the notifications when we go live and when we have new content. All right. Finally, Periscope, Twitter. Good evening to you. It's good to see you virtually tonight, and certainly praying that you are having a phenomenal week in the Twitter world. If you are watching via Periscope, hold that heart button down. Let's see some hearts fly up the screen. And then I want you to hit the @ symbol on Twitter. And I want you to tag 5 of your Twitter friends and tell them to tune in tonight. All right. Would you do that for me quickly? I'm really going to miss Periscope. I think it's going to go offline very soon. I'm going to miss Periscope, but certainly going to ride this thing out until it is canceled. But thank you so much for tuning in via Twitter, Periscope tonight, and for joining us for a live study. All right. Every single network. I'm getting ready to get into this. Every single network. I need you to hit that @ symbol. I don't care what network you're tuned in on. I want you to hit that @ symbol for me quickly now. I'm giving you 40 seconds. @ symbol. I want you to tag 5 out. Regardless of what network you are tuned on, go down your friends list and tag 5 people. Tell them to jump on right now. I'm ready to teach. I'm ready to get into the word. Looks like I'm going to get at least a good 40 minutes of teaching tonight. And so I'm ready to get into this. And this is going to be a powerful message. And you know how this goes. The night hardly knows a night really incredibly rich. Tonight's going to be no exception. I got something for you tonight. It's really a blessing to you. And I can't wait to see you. All right. I hit that @ symbol if you have not already hit that. And I want you to make sure that you tag, share this, subscribe, work that you want. Misunderstood. I want you to put that in the comments now. We're talking about the secret power of being misunderstood. And we have been giving you over the last 3 weeks two unexpected blessings of being misunderstood. Tonight, we're going to give you the third blessing. So I want to go back. The very first blessing of being misunderstood. And of course, if you have not put the subject in the comments, go ahead and put the subject in the comments now. The secret power of being misunderstood. And this is part 4, right? Again, the secret power of being misunderstood. And I gave you 2 blessings of being misunderstood. Tonight, I'm going to give you the third blessing of being misunderstood. All right. So the first blessing of being misunderstood was when there is nothing common about you, there is nothing that can stop you. All right. When there is nothing common about you, there is nothing that can stop you. All right. Blessing number 2 was, where am I? Blessing number 2 was when most people don't understand you, they'll eventually mislabel you. All right. When most people don't understand you, they will eventually mislabel you. All right. And tonight we're going to get into the third unexpected blessing. All right. Now, before I get into this, because you know me, I like to give you context. I want to just say this to you very quickly, and this is very important. And that is, there is this big connection between self-esteem, and specifically poor self-esteem, and the need to be understood. Show me somebody who needs to be understood. Show me somebody who needs people to agree with them, to understand them, and I'll show you someone who is struggling in their self-esteem. Now, that's going to be difficult for some of you to grasp and perhaps even agree with, but you've got to grow your esteem, and frankly, you got to grow your feelings to the point where your feelings become unhurtable. Okay, I want to say this again. This is an early jewel. You have to grow your feelings, your self-esteem, your self-confidence. You've got to see your self-value to the point where your feelings are unhurtable. Now, you're human. I get it. This doesn't suggest that you're walking around as some machine and there's nothing that nobody can do to you that ain't going to hurt you. I'm not suggesting that. What I am suggesting, though, is when it comes to the masses, when it comes to people who aren't necessarily connected to you, there's no reason for you to be walking around and allowing people's perspectives to impact how you see yourself or to impact how you feel about yourself. And so one of the highest forms of poor self-esteem is the need to be understood. I want you to record that. One of the highest forms of poor self-esteem is the need to be understood. If you need to be understood in any season of your life, you are operating in low self-esteem. And this is important because if your esteem ain't right, then it impacts the things you say. It impacts the things you do. It impacts the decisions that you make. And then those things, all 3 things, then become contingent not on the things that you desire, but they become contingent on the response that you'll receive from people. Listen, what connects your need to be understood to your esteem is a word called validation. I'm going to say that again because that sounded like a mouthful. What connects your need to be understood to your esteem is a word called validation. Validation is the word that attempts to bridge your self-esteem and your ability to be understood. Or we can flip that. Your ability to be understood and your self-esteem. It is validation. Validation for many people serves as the bridge from connecting how we feel about ourselves to how people receive us. And I'm going to say this again, and I've been saying this for the last 3 weeks. I'm going to say this again, week 4. If you are in the business of people needing to understand you, needing to validate you, needing to confirm you, needing to understand you, needing to stamp you, needing to approve you, you're not only not blazing trails, but at best, you're being average. At best, you're just being normal. And we talked about this last week, And I'll say it again, there's nothing exceptional about average. There's nothing exceptional about normal. There's nothing exceptional, frankly, about easy. See, it's easy to be accepted by people. It's easy to be embraced by people. It's easy to have a mentality where you attach yourself to the herd and you fit in. That's easy. Ain't nothing exceptional happening when you get in line with everybody else. Ain't nothing exceptional happening, right? And so if you're going to be exceptional in your life, if you're going to live an exceptional life, then you've got to live a life where your need to be validated is almost null and void. Now, this does not mean that you will not have people in your life whose approval won't matter to you, right? Family, close friends, close relation. I'm not suggesting that you're going to live your entire life and nobody will need, you will desire nobody to validate you in some kind of way. I'm not suggesting that. But I'm talking about this habitual stuff that we do. Many people walk habitually in a space where they need validation. And validation is nothing more than approval from anything other than the source. You're the source. So anytime you are seeking validation, you are seeking approval from anything outside of you. Okay, I don't want you to miss this definition. This is a very easy definition of validation. The way we can validate or understand or define validation is when you need approval from something other than the source. You're the source. Right? And because you are the source, you don't need approval from anything else. You don't, right? And so when you need validation, you need approval. When you need approval, you need permission. And when you need a permission, you never live for who you are. I'm going to give that to you all again. That's a whole mouthful. When you need validation, you need approval. So when you need people to validate you, you need people to approve you. When you need people to approve you, you need people to give you permission. In other words, you then grow to a place where not only do you want people to smile on what you do and smile on what you say and smile on the decision that you make, but then you even take it a step further. You need people to give you permission to do what you do, right? And so again, when you need validation, you need approval. When you need approval, you need permission. And then when you need people's permission to do stuff, say stuff, be stuff, become stuff, pursue stuff, go after stuff, then you end up never living a life for you. So validation leads to approval, approval leads to permission, and permission leads to misery because you find yourself living not for you, but for the approval, the validation, the confirmation, the permission of everybody else. Which explains why people end up 20, 30, 40, 60, 70, and they have miserable lives because as they contemplate on their lives, they think about the missed opportunities that they had that they did not pursue in the name of being validated by other people, in the name of needing permission from other people. Now, I hear you. Some of you are saying, well, Pastor, I'm grown. I don't need nobody's permission. No, you don't walk around and say, I'm not going to do something unless somebody gives me permission. People don't actually come out and say that. But listen, if you are so concerned about what people think about you, what you're really saying is you need their permission in order for you to move forward. You see, we don't want to look at it that way because when I say to you, you need somebody's permission, that really slaps you in the face that you're really operating in validation. You're really operating in the need to be validated. And that's exactly what it is. I mean, you probably never thought of it that way. But the reality is if you're not making moves because of what people think, you need their permission. You want their permission. And anytime you want people's permission, you need their validation. Again, validation leads to approval, a need for approval. A need for approval leads to a need for permission. And a need for permission, having a need for permission in your life, living a life where you have this need for permission from everybody else, I'm here to tell you, leads you to a place where you no longer live for yourself. And some of you are not living for yourself. You are grown and miserable because all of the decisions you have made have been connected to what people thought about it. Are y'all listening to me? Literally, most of the decisions you've made have been connected to what people think about your decisions and what people think about your choices and what people think about your moves. And I feel sorry for you because that road leads to misery and average. Yes, it does. And so you've got to get out of this space of this need for validation. And when you're not living for you, here's the reality of the matter. I want you to record this because I don't want y'all, if y'all don't remember nothing I say tonight, I want you to remember this. When you're not living for you, it's impossible for you to like you. If you're not living for you, it becomes impossible for you to start liking you. There's a lot of people that don't like who they are. One of the main reasons they don't like who they are is not because they're a troubled person. They got all these flaws. Now, we all got flaws. We all have challenges. But that ain't got nothing to do with it. The reason they don't like themselves is because they woke up one day and realized that they have spent time, years, months, whatever, living for everybody else but themselves. And wouldn't it be a shame for you to end up 60, 70, 80, 90? Look back over your life and realize you spent a third or half of your life literally trying to please everybody else but yourself. And so when you're not living for you, it will be impossible for you to like you. There's a lot of people that's battling with who they are, battling with their own self-esteem and battling with their own self-confidence and battling with their own perspective of how they see themselves. And it's not because they're bad people. They're battling because they've been spending all of this time trying to get other folks' permission. They've been spending all of this time trying to get other people's approval. They've been spending all of this time trying to get other people's validation. And when you do, you spend a whole lot of time living for everybody else but you. I need you to start living for you. I want you to put this in the comments right now. I need to start living for myself. Come on. I'm trying to empower you tonight. I need to start living for myself. I'm here to tell you, if you can hear my voice, if you can hear what I'm saying tonight, whether you're watching live or catching the replay, I'm here to tell you, if you can hear my voice, it's not too late for you to take control of your life. It's not. That it only becomes too late when you're no longer around with us, right? It's not too late for you to start living for you. It's not too late for you to start living with your interest in mind. Y'all not listening to me. And I need you to put that in the comments. I need to start living for myself. It doesn't mean you can't do for other people. It doesn't mean you can't make sacrifices for other people. It doesn't mean you can't be there for other people. It doesn't mean you can't get the input of people. It doesn't mean any of that. But what it means is that at the end of the day, when you make decisions, when you make moves, when you make choices, you're not doing it with a reaction in mind. You're doing it with your own future in mind. You're thinking about your future. You're thinking about your desires. You're thinking about the things God promised you. You're thinking about the things you've been praying. You're doing it with those things in mind, not the opinions of people. And I've said this many times and I'll say it again. One of your greatest victories will be getting victory over the opinions of other people. You've got to move beyond that space. Only average people live to have everybody think well of them. And it's crazy because people will literally walk around and act like they don't care what people think about them, when really deep down inside, they absolutely care what people think about them. And let me tell you how I've cracked the code here. It's normally the people that's talking the most. I don't care what people think about me. I don't care. I'm going to do me. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be. Okay. And then life has a way of putting you in a position to see if you really mean that you're going to do you. If you really mean you don't need nobody else's approval. Right? Ever heard the song, Talking Loud, Saying Nothing? It be them folk. Right? To be talking a lot. I don't need nobody to approve. I don't need nobody. I don't care what people think. I don't care what people. And let me tell you something. It ain't in all of that. Right? I'm talking about silent, gentle killers who ain't doing a lot of talking, who ain't doing a lot of whatever. They're doing more moves than they are making announcements. Them folks, I'm telling you, are people who are living and could care less about your applause, that could care less about your need to validate them, that could care less about your permission, that could care less about your approval. And so that's the space you've got to get into, because if not, it's going to be impossible for you to be living a life that you actually like yourself. And listen, you'll never be able to get people to approve your life or to love your life. That's a better way to put it. You'll never get people to be able to love your life if you first don't love your own life, right? And the way you first begin to learn how to love your own life is by removing the need for validation. You got to get to a place where you say, before I seek anybody's approval, before I seek anybody's confirmation, affirmation, permission, validation, before I seek any of that, let me make sure I like my choices and my decisions, and I'm good with me. Because let me tell you something, the key to being good with your life is being good with you. See, a lot of people ain't good with their life because they ain't good with themselves. A lot of people are not good with how their lives are moving because they ain't good with themselves. When you get good with you, then it don't matter. You not only become good with your life, it really don't matter what people think. Like, it just, people's opinions become secondary. And so you got to learn how to get good with you so that then you can in turn be good with your life. All right. And so let's deal with this. The third blessing of being misunderstood is this. All right. I want you to record this. The third blessing of misunderstood is this. Everything that makes you difficult to understand is what makes you blessed. Everything that makes you difficult to understand is what makes you blessed. We're talking about the third unexpected blessing of being misunderstood. And you can substitute that word blessed for unique, right? So we could say everything that makes you difficult to understand is often what makes you unique. Okay? Oftentimes, everything that makes you difficult to understand is often the very thing that makes you unique, right? And again, we talked a few weeks ago about being in this world filled with counterfeits, filled with duplicates, filled with people who would rather trace a picture than draw their own. That's the world that we're living in. And the reality is there are a lot of counterfeits. There are a lot of duplicates out here. There are a lot of people who aren't trying to draw a will. They're just trying to recreate a will that's already been constructed. And that's okay. That has its place in certain settings and honestly with certain people. But when you're going to live an exceptional life, there will come a time where you will have to make decisions that rub against the grain. You will have to make decisions that people, the masses, quote unquote, normal people may not understand, but that's okay. You've got to be comfortable enough in your skin to understand that anything that is worth having is not going to come easy. All right. So y'all stop settling. Stop settling. If you want to be great, understand that anything that is worth having is simply not going to come easy. It's not going to come easy. Chances are it's going to have a lot about it that is unique, that has not been seen before or seen in large quantities before, because greatness comes with a price. And one of the prices to greatness is being misunderstood. A lot of great people that I know that do great things in great industry circles are people that are often misunderstood. They're normally misunderstood more than they are understood. And you got to get in that place where you're okay with that, where being misunderstood actually becomes more comfortable to you than being understood. Let me tell you how sometimes I know I've missed God. Let me just make this personal. Let me let you know how sometimes I've missed God, or sometimes how I may be pursuing something that does not align with my desires or with my future in the way the things I desire and intend to manifest in my life. Let me tell you how I know I'm off. When I come up with something and think of something and everybody like it. When I come up with something, create something, when something comes to me and everybody likes it, everybody receives it, everybody says things like, yeah, I see that, or yeah, I would do that, I pump the brakes. I'm sorry, I know that's weird. I pump the brakes and I take a couple steps back because the very nature of who I am, blazing trails, doing something different, being who I am, being who I've been called to be, and all of us have been called to be unique. Yeah, you might have an anointing to preach. You may have an anointing to sing. You may have a calling to do whatever. But let me tell you what your number one calling is. Your number one calling is to be who you are. Are y'all listening to the old man? Your greatest number one calling is not to be a preacher. It's not to be a singer. It's not to be what everybody else wants you to be. Your greatest calling is to be who you are. Because the minute you draw a life for yourself that goes off the grid of who you really are, your uniqueness, you have completely missed the whole thing. You've missed the whole thing. And so stop trying to be anybody else but who you are. Y'all stop. I got so tickled. Let me just get in trouble. I feel like getting in trouble. I feel like starting a little bit of trouble tonight. I got so tickled. I put something up. I posted something and I got so tickled because I don't know, maybe 2-3 hours later, I checked. No, it wasn't that late. It was maybe about an hour later because I was about to sleep after that. Checked my social media again right before I went to bed, unfortunately. And somebody posted something and I got tickled because I know this person and he is a great guy. He's a great guy. He's in ministry, great guy. But one of the things challenges that I have with him, and I've shared this with him personally, so he knows. Y'all will know who he is anyway, but he knows, and this is something I've shared with him because he's reached out to me and he's asked for things like advice and things like that. And one of the things I've said to him several times is that if you want to find your sweet spot in ministry, find your voice. Find your own voice. If you want to find your sweet spot of effectiveness in ministry, your sweet spot of doing ministry in a way where you make an impact and people get something out of what you say and something out of what you do, find your voice. Let me tell you why a lot of people have no effectiveness. A lot of people are not effective in ministry, in life, in business, in their careers. Heck, they ain't even effective in their relationships. You know why? Because they acting like everybody else but themselves. It's the truth. And I'll use me as a funny example. This is God's honest truth. I've shared this with Rehab before. When I first started preaching, for the first 2 years of my ministry, maybe 3, on any given time you heard me preach, you may have heard any other given type of preacher. You may have heard any type of preacher on any given time. You have heard me preach the first 3 years of preaching. Because I was trying to find my voice. One week I wanted to preach like the Hoopers. One week I wanted to preach like the teachers. One week I wanted to be like both. One week I want the spirit to fall and I ain't want to preach. Like for the first 3 years, I was trying to find my voice. But let me tell you when my ministry got effective. It got effective when I found my lane and found my voice. Because the day I found my voice, then all of a sudden, lives started changing. People started calling. People wanted me to come and preach. People wanted me to come and minister. And granted, my daddy didn't even let me start preaching out until I think maybe 4 years in the ministry. So for the first 3 years, I didn't preach nowhere but at home, at my home church. That was it. That's a different conversation for a different day. Because let me tell you something, a reason why a lot of people don't have a voice and a reason why a lot of people don't have an identity is because they are spraying their gifts everywhere. This is old fashioned teaching here. I ain't gonna like this. See, there's a whole lot of people that don't know their voice, don't have a voice, don't know their calling because they take the little gift they got the little bit of talent they got, the little bit of ability they got, and they're sprinkling it everywhere. Your gift don't belong everywhere. Who you are doesn't belong everywhere. You know what makes something quality? What makes something quality is limited access to it. I share this with the preachers at our church all the time. I turn down more engagements than I take. Pastor, why don't we see you on more flyers? It ain't because I ain't getting invited. I can show my emails. I can connect you with my assistant. She can show you. Get invited all the time. I just don't go everywhere. I don't. And it's not personal against ministries, whatever. But let me just tell you something. I don't go everywhere because, one, I understand the gift that I have on my life. Two, I recognize that my gift doesn't fit everywhere. It just doesn't. It doesn't fit everywhere. There's some places it fits great. There's some places it's going to be awkward. It doesn't fit everywhere. And that's okay. It's okay. But you got to know your gift, and you got to know who you are. And you have to be comfortable in that. You got to be comfortable in your skin to the point where you ain't trying to be nobody else but who you are. Because I'm telling you, you hit the sweet spot in life. My career, my professional career took off when I started being a career coach, not like what I saw on TV, but I just started being myself and doing it the way I was inspired to do it. And it didn't take long for that to just take off and momentum to take off. And so it applies in everything: careers, ministry gifts. You know, you're starting a business. Don't try to run your business like somebody else. Yes, I understand the fundamentals of running business, right? That, you know, I'm not talking about bookkeeping and operating process. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you coming up with visions for your business based on visions that other people got. Look, if everybody got a food truck, somebody's food truck ain't gonna get fed. Yeah, I know that probably hurt some of y'all. I think about my guy, Pastor Anthony Knott, shout out to him. And I watched him, grow Seafood Destiny and was really had that birth of that vision. A lot of people weren't doing it on the scale that he is now doing it. And, people were looking. I know they were, because I know what it's like to start something that people don't understand. People were looking, had to have been looking at him. But I admire how he went from stepping out on faith, getting that truck, and then expanding it to starting a location. And he's just continuing to expand. It is fantastic for him. But let me tell you something. Your job ain't to try to duplicate what he did. Now, I know y'all don't like this. This is hurting some of y'all's feeling. Well, if Pastor Knotts did it, and I know that he's my homeboy. If Pastor Knotts did it, then I can go ahead and duplicate it too. Here's the problem. You may not have been called to the same calling and the same process and the same operation as Pastor Knotts was. Now, y'all don't like that because we just think we can just duplicate everything we see. And this is why I have mentees, and I'm not intimidated to have mentees. This is going to hurt some of your feelings. There are a lot of people that I know, leaders in business, leaders in ministry, that don't want mentees. And the reason they don't, one of the reasons they don't, is because they feel like the mentee will take the things that they, teach them and go out and go do whatever and then do better than them. Let me tell you something. And let me say this to y'all. And I hope this doesn't sound arrogant, but I mean this with all of my breath. I don't mind sharing anything with anybody. You ask me, I've had young preachers, I've had young people in business industry lean out on me, Pastor Talley, Dr. Talley, whatever they call me. Can you help me with this? Can you help me do this? Can you help me start this? Can you help me do? Absolutely. I have no problems with that, because let me tell you something. If anything that I help you do looks like anything that I do, understand that I'm not intimidated by you doing it well, because your lane will never be what mine is. And see, when you understand who you are and you're authentic to who you are, then true authenticity always eliminates intimidation. I'm going to say it again. That's a whole word. You need to record it. True authenticity always eliminates intimidation. People only get intimidated when they're not walking in authenticity. People only get intimidated when they're not walking in authenticity. When you walk in authenticity, it's hard for you to feel intimidated by anybody asking you questions Are you helping anybody? Then I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. When I started rehab in Greensboro, all these churches in Greensboro, I had no mentor, no nothing. I was reaching out for folk to help. Folk wouldn't even return my call. This is God's honest truth. Well-known people wouldn't even, return my call. I didn't want your money. Don't want your members. I just had a question about location. I had a question about, how can I go get resources? I didn't even have an organ to my name. How can I get chairs? I don't want your members. Y'all gonna mess around and get me in trouble. I don't want your members. I do not want your raggedy members. No, because I don't want the junk that come with them. I just take my own junk. But I couldn't even get people to call me back. Rehab took off. Rehab became settled. Now everybody want to call. Doc, Rev, man, when can we get up? I don't know, man. My schedule a little busy. Y'all can take that whatever way you want. You can judge me whatever way you want. I don't care. I'm serious about that. Meanwhile, I've had younger pastors who didn't have anything. I've had younger people that in industry starting as professionals who didn't have a lot of experience, who want to start coaching business. I've got a coaching business. I'm going to put some information out here in the coming weeks that I've revived, that I've had for years, that want to start coaching business. I don't say to them, nah, I can't help you, or not answer their call because they're doing a coaching business and I'm a coach too. No, let me help you figure out what your lane is and help you craft your gift to make you successful. Because there's enough success out here for everybody to get it. But see, people get intimidated when they ain't authentic. When you authentic, don't nothing intimidate you. Right? So stop trying to be everybody else but who you are. That's in business, that's in ministry, that's in relationships. Y'all don't want me to go here. That's in relationships. I love y'all, but let me tell you something. You better quit trying to duplicate other folks' relationships in your relationship. I just said a whole more. Are y'all listening to me? You better stop trying to duplicate other folks' relationships in your relationships. Find how your relationship flows and what brings your relationship solidarity and happiness and joy and produces fruit and flow in that. Here y'all are sitting up there. Well, baby, let's go out here and do a photo shoot because Mr. Such and Such and Miss Such and Such, they do photo shoots every week. Let's go do a photo shoot so we can look cute like a couple. And y'all sitting up there with your non-photogenic selves looking crazy, trying to keep up with a couple who may be more photogenic, who may be doing that for business, who may have a different purpose as a couple. Y'all stop. And that's just an easy example. I can go deeper with this example. Some of you treat your boyfriends the way you treat them because you're trying to mirror another woman in the way she treats her boyfriend or her husband. Y'all don't like this. You better find your lane and stay in. You better find what works in your relationship and stay in it. Now, this doesn't mean, let me clarify because I'm going to get in trouble here. I know my inbox going to be on fire. This doesn't mean that you can't get advice from people on how their relationships work. It doesn't mean you can't get advice. Heck, especially if you're going to get married, it doesn't mean you can't get marriage advice. I recommend marriage counseling. I recommend conversations with couples who have done it, who have done it well. It's not advice from people who have failed. Because sometimes we think the only way we can get marriage advice is from people who, let me tell you something, failure will teach you better than success. Y'all like the way I'm talking here. But failure will teach you, get some advice from folk who have failed marriages too, who've had failed relationships too. That's fine. But at the end of the day, after you get all of this advice, guess what you got to do? You got to come up with a strategy that's unique to your relationship. And people out here failing. This is an easy example to give. I'm going to get in trouble right here if I say this. I don't care. I just don't care. Y'all just sue me. I don't care. You know what drives me nuts as a preacher, as a pastor? What drives me nuts is watching other male preachers. Now, apparently there's something going on social media with some guy that's a preacher. I caught a wind of it, but I don't even know the guy. And some girl in a bonnet that was in front of a camera or something apologized. I don't know. I didn't watch the video. I saw it when I scrolled today. And when I saw that and people was commenting, I just hit logged out. I ain't got time for y'all foolishness. I don't. Somebody asked me the other day. This is a true story. Somebody asked me the other day. They were about to ask me something about being social, and I said something about. I just cut them off and said, "No, I'm too busy to be social." Y'all get on my nerves sometimes. Anyway, didn't mean to take that tangent, but let me tell you what is so funny to me, and I have had to tell especially young men who are going into ministry, not to sound sexist, females that are in ministry have to make the same decision as well, right? So it's not just a one-sided thing, but especially young men. It's just something about young men that end up in ministry who just like, oh, I gotta go get me a wife. I gotta go get me a wife. Gotta have me a wife. Gotta have me a wife, right? And I know what Paul said, don't hit me with Paul. Better than married than burnt. I get all of that. Two are better than one. I get all of that. But let me tell you something. What's so funny is they end up getting wives at like 21, 22, 20, all of this stuff. They're not mature. They're not ready for it. And then what ends up happening is they choose them for all the wrong reasons. And so then here you are, you 22, your wife 21, y'all dressing like you 40. You dressing like you 50. Now at 40, let me take that back because that's my range and I can dress like I'm 21, 22 and y'all kick rocks with no socks on and I look great. So let me change the example. You 20, 21 dressing like you 60. Talking like you 60. Moving like you 60. I know y'all don't like this. Moving like you 60. You pastoring like you 60. And see, the problem with that is that you ain't being true to who you are. All you doing is duplicating everything that you say. Y'all don't like this. And so what ends up happening is by the time y'all hit your 30s, mid 30s, y'all sleeping in separate bedrooms. Either she didn't got tired of you or you didn't got tired of her or both. And it's because instead of y'all being unique to who you are, you're out here trying to duplicate what you saw. Y'all better stop this. Stop trying to be anybody else but who you are. Because I'm telling you, it eventually comes out. Your lack of authenticity eventually comes out when you're trying to be everything else but you. And this is especially true in ministry, but it also applies in relationships too. Y'all stop. Stop choosing stuff that other people chose because it worked for other people. I know, Pastor, you're out there. No, I ain't. I'm telling y'all the truth. Stop. Because when you do that, you need validation. Look at this. I want to say this to all of you. I don't want you to forget this. Put this in the comments right now. You are not difficult. You are not complicated. You are acquired. Put it in the comments. You are not difficult. You are not complicated. You are acquired. I'm not difficult. I'm not complicated. I'm acquired. And when you are acquired, that means you ain't common. See, people will take your lack of being common as being complicated. He's too complicated. She's too complicated. Or being difficult. I would date her, but she too difficult. No, she just acquired. Some people like salmon cakes. Some like caviar. Are y'all listening to me? Some people like salmon cakes. Some people like caviar. Some people like Captain D's. And some people like salmon. You're not difficult. You're not complicated. You're just acquired. And so don't let people make you feel like you're difficult. Some of y'all people don't want to deal with you, not because you're a bad person, but because they feel like you're difficult. They feel like you're complicated. Being around you, being connected to you is going to make things come. No, it's not that. I'm just acquired. I ain't like everybody else. I'm not average. right? And you have to have that same mentality, because when you got that same mentality, then you understand this. And this is the last point I got for y'all. This is real fast, but this is good. When you have that mentality where you ain't complicated, where you understand that you're not difficult, that you are acquired, you understand this. You might have flaws, but what you bring to the table is always greater than the table without you. I'm going to say it again. When you understand that you are an acquired taste, you then recognize that what you bring to the table is always greater than the table without you. Are y'all listening to me? That's your last bullet point for tonight. What you bring to the table is always greater than the table without you. What you bring to the table, when you know you're acquired, what you bring to the table, you recognize it's always greater than that table without you. And so if you recognize the value you bring into any table, then you don't bring down your standards of people thinking you complicated or difficult just because they don't get you. Or just because they scared to deal with you. Or I got a better one than that. Or because they don't know how to handle you. Some of y'all, let me tell you something. Some of you didn't get rejected, you got repelled. I'm going to save that for a different message because I got a series where I'm going to explain that. Some of you didn't get rejected, you got repelled. It wasn't nothing wrong with you. But the problem is, what you thought rejected you really just couldn't handle you. This jobs, this relationships, this connections, this is all kinds of stuff. You didn't get rejected, you got repelled. And that's a sad reality, but it's true. And that's okay. Some people like Captain D's. Some people like salmon. It's facts, and that's okay. But the reality of the matter is everything that makes you difficult to understand, everything that makes you difficult to grasp, everything that seemingly makes you complicated, frankly, is what makes you unique. And it's better for you to be unique and misunderstood than to be common, accepted, and have no real impact, have no authenticity, and live a boring life. And I don't want you to live a boring life because you are living your life trying to make everybody understand you. I would travel more, but what is my family gonna say? I would leave this job I've been on for 12 years to pursue a career in something I really enjoy. I would date this incredible guy, this incredible lady who is everything I dreamed of, prayed for, and more. But what are people gonna think? Y'all scared. And let me give you something my daddy used to say. My daddy used to be my coach, 7th grade AU coach, track coach, principal. All of that. It was hell to pay because daddy didn't play no games with me. And mama will tell you, if mama, you still on the line, and many days I came home crying and it started an argument between them. I came in the house crying, went right to my room, and she got mad at daddy because she knew practice was hard and daddy did not care. But daddy used to say something all the time that I never forget. In fact, I messed around and caught myself telling Ford this. He was at basketball practices about a month ago, one of his practices, and Ford was whining. Ford was out there whining. Ford ran over and like he was out of breath. I don't like what coach did this, and I can't shoot it the way he want me to do. I came over and I looked at him and I leaned back on the bench and went down in my pocket and held it out and said, Ford, If you scared, get in my pocket. He looked at me and said, sir, I said, 4. If you scared, get in my pocket. He said, Daddy, get in your pocket. I said, yeah. If you scared, get in there. Like, dude was looking at me like he was literally about to try to climb in my pocket. Like 4 didn't even understand what I was saying. But what I was saying to him, he's scared. Scared of. When you know what you desire is going to bring you a satisfaction that you deserve, a happiness that you deserve, what you scared of? What are you scared of? Some of y'all ain't started this business that's been on your heart for years because you afraid of failure. You afraid of what people gonna think about you starting a business, and you're crazy. Some of you are walking around here dating bums and bozos and losers because you're scared to date somebody who's for real. What you scared of? What you scared of? Some of you ain't going back to school because you sitting up here now thinking all of this stuff. Well, I'm too old to go back to school. I ain't been in school for years. I don't think what you scared of? Y'all stop. The thing that makes you blessed is also the very thing that's going to make you unique. It's going to make your situation unique. And sometimes God gives us unique circumstances, unique blessings, unique opportunities, really, so that we can be unique people. I don't want no kind of opportunity. Let me just say this. I'm going to say this and I'm going to end it here. I really hope my dad is tuned in and heard me say that, get in my pocket stuff, because I got in the car and just cried laughing, thinking to myself, I ain't turning to nobody but my daddy. I literally looked that boy in his face and said, you scared, get in my pocket. And it you know, my prayer for y'all is that you get so comfortable in your and that you trust yourself to be yourself. You got to grow to trust yourself to be yourself. I'm going to say this to all of y'all. There ain't nothing in my life, nothing there's nothing in my life I want to look like, feel like, nothing else. No, I'm going to say this is a definitive and powerful statement. And if you can say this, you really walking in a space called trailblazing. You in a space called being comfortable, being unique, misunderstood. If you can make this definitive statement, like Pastor, and that is, there ain't nothing in my life that I won't like nobody else got it. You know, remember how you used to grow up and by the time you start smelling yourself a little bit, your mom, dad, when you go school clothes shopping, they would, you know, be buying you clothes. You be out with them, they getting clothes, and, you know, money your folks had. When I was younger at that time, my folks didn't have a lot. But I remember, you know, being out with them and mom be trying to pick out stuff, dad be trying to pick out stuff. I'd be like, got it. Remember, you were don't even want to wear a certain dress. You like dresses already wore. I don't like this. Dress because somebody else already wore it. Let me kid comes to address. Why don't you have that mentality in your life? I don't want nothing in my life that's like everybody else. Are y'all listening to me? You need to adapt the same mentality that says, I don't want nothing in my life like what everybody else has. And I'm telling you, if you adopt the mentality that I don't want nothing in my life everybody else has, I'm here to tell you, totally different level of results and happiness in your life. I can say this definitively. There is nothing in my life, personal life, career, kids, nothing in my life like what thing being I'm committed. That's what I need all of you to work to be. That's what I for you. If you got a prayer request, did this bless anybody? First of all, did this message, this series bless anybody tonight? I hope it did. I hope the series bless you this month. If you need to go back and see the other videos, please go back, check out the other videos, check out parts 1 through 3. This has been a fantastic series, and frankly, while preaching to you in many cases and teaching to you, I was teaching to myself. And this has certainly been a blessed series, and I hope it has blessed you in a tremendous way as well. Listen, I want to pray for you. If you got a prayer request, I want you to type it in the comments quickly. I want you to type it in the comments quickly. If you've got a prayer request, you've got something you want me to pray for, I want you to put it in the comments. This is week 3 now. I've not been praying for myself. Every single morning, I've been praying solely for your prayer requests. That's it. The prayers have been faster. Typically, I don't pray for nobody else before I pray for me first. I've cut that out for 3 weeks now, and it feels amazing. And I'm not worried about it. I know people are praying for me. I absolutely believe that. But it has been amazing to put my needs and my challenges and my issues and my concerns on the side and really pray for the needs of people. And I'm going to continue to do that all week long. Listen, if you've got, I don't care what it is, I want you to type your prayer request in the comments right now. If you cannot share your prayer request in the comments, you can certainly email your prayer request to info@rehabcc.org. That's info@rehabcc.org. Email your prayer request and put in the subject line prayer request, and it will come to me, and I'd be happy to read your prayer request and respond to your prayer request as well. But listen, I'm giving you 30 seconds. I've run a few minutes over. I'm giving you 30 seconds tonight. I want you to type your prayer request in the comments because I want to pray for you. I want to pray for your family. I want to pray for your situation. I want to pray for your circumstance. I want to pray for whatever it is that you have all week long. And I promise you, I want to do it. All right, come on, quickly. You got 30 seconds. We're down to 30 seconds. Type them. I'm starting coming to me. Get to the comments over here. Good. I'm starting to see them come through. I want you to type your prayer requests very quickly because we're getting ready to pray really quickly. And I really believe God's going to answer your prayers. I believe he's going to open up some doors. He's going to make ways. He's going to create new opportunities. Brand new windows are going to be opened up for you and your family, your loved ones, anybody connected to you. And I want you to win in this season more than anything in your life season. And I'm excited about it. Clasp your hands like this is a sign, a symbol of faith. Quickly. Clasp your hands like this is a sign, a symbol of faith. Let's pray. Father, in Jesus' name, thank you tonight for your word. Thank you for this powerful time of sharing you've given us. Pray now, God, that as we wrap up this message in this series, I pray that something was said that has encouraged somebody, that has strengthened somebody, that has empowered somebody to be the best version of who they are. Thank you, God, for giving us the mind to be who we are, not what people want us to be, not what people desire us to be, not what people approve us to be. Thank you for giving us the strength and the mind to want to be who we want to be, who you've designed us to be unique to our calling, our purpose, and our passions and our desires, knowing that as we do that, we become an unstoppable force. That as we seek less to duplicate efforts and duplicate people and duplicate circumstances, but blaze trails that have never been blazed before. We tap into greatness. I speak greatness on this call tonight. I speak greatness to those that are witnessing this live, those that are watching the replay. I speak greatness into their lives, that everybody under the sound of my voice this week might begin to tap into that unique path that they've been called into, so that they can be everything they've been called to be and more. Now, God, for every prayer request that's come across this line, we speak to these requests right now. God, answer the prayer requests of your people. Make ways, open doors, meet needs, grant heart's desires in a special way. And God, will continue to give your name glory, honor, and praise. In Jesus' name, amen. Listen, comments really quickly. It is so. It is so. If you prayed with me just now, I want you to put in the comments right now. Maybe you're even watching the broadcast or the replay. I want you to type in the comments right now. It is so. It is so. It is so. God's answering your prayers. God's making a way. God's meeting needs. He's opening doors like he never has before. I want you to put in the comments right now. It is so. It is so. It is so. Come on. It is so. It is so. It is so. God's going to do it. He's going to answer your prayers. He's going to make ways like only he can. And we're believing him for it. Listen, really quickly, I want to challenge you to give tonight. As you're typing it is so, I want to challenge you to give tonight. If this message has blessed you, if this ministry has been a blessing, I want to challenge you to sow into our ministry in a special way. I believe this. God will bless you as you give. He will continue to bless you. He's that type of God. The Bible tells us clearly it's better to give than to receive. And that's just not financially. That's also in your time and your talents and your effort. And so sharing with the board last night, and one of them said something that was so profound, and it's true. And that is that even when you don't have money, you can present your body a living sacrifice. You can present your time a sacrifice. And so we can't always use finances as an excuse to give. It's greater than money. And so I want to challenge you tonight to sow a seed, to sow a tangible seed tonight into our ministry. If this message has been a blessing to you, if our ministry has been a blessing to you, you can give one of three ways. You can give via CashAPP at $REHABCCGIVE. That's $REHABCCGIve. You can give through our website, www.rehabcc.org, and choose online giving. Again, www.rehabcc.org and choose online giving. Or you can text REHABWORKS to 88202. That's REHABWORKS to 88202. And right from your cell phone, you can give. Simply click on the link, follow the instructions, and you can give right. Again, three ways you can be a blessing into our ministry. CashAPP, $REHABCCGIVE. Our website, www.rehabcc.org, or through your cell phone by texting REHABWORKS to 88202. Text REHABWORKS to 88202. And you can give either one of those ways, and God will certainly bless you. How? Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. He will literally send people into your life to be a blessing to you. And I believe he'll do that tonight because you give. Listen, can I take a point of personal privilege and just thank all of you for how you've been a blessing to our ministry since we've been in this all virtual space since last March. Don't know when we're going back to the building, but I can assure all of you that are tuned in online, that are watching our replay as well, that we are not going to forsake our virtual audience whenever that day of returning to the building is, because it has frankly been you, the virtual audience, that has been such a tremendous support to our ministry during this last 12 months. And so I'm so grateful for you. And I just want to take a point of personal privilege again to thank you for how you've been a blessing to us and our ministry in this short but fast year period of time. And I'm so grateful for you and so grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Listen, I want to see you Sunday, 9:08 a.m. sharp. I got a powerful word for you. I can't wait to teach it to you. It's going to bless your whole life. I can't wait. And so I need you to do me a favor. If you have not already, I need you to share this video. If you are tuned in, if you are watching the replay, I need you to hit the like button, the love button, regardless of what platform that you're on. I need you to hit that right now. Then I need you to hit the share button. I need you to share it on your platform, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, wherever, Twitter, wherever you are. I need you to share it, this video, on your platform, and then make sure you tag 5 people and tell them to check this out. And I promise you this message is going to bless somebody else the same way that it blessed you. All right. So make plans, set your clocks, make plans to meet me this Sunday, 9:08 a.m. right here at the nicest church on the planet, the Rehab Christian Center And I certainly look forward to sharing with you and meeting with you then. All right. Love you guys. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting. Have a fantastic week. Peace and blessings.
For watching the Rehab Christian Center live experience. If this broadcast is a blessing to you and you would like to be a blessing to our leader, Dr. Zeb Talley III, you can sow seed into his ministry by CashAPP at $Pastor ZT3. It is our prayer that this message of hope encourage, enlighten, and empower you to be better. Please tune in Sunday at 9:08 a.m. for our Sunday morning experience. And as always, be blessed.